the latest NHL rule changes could throw the Oilers' rhythm completely off in the Stanley Cup race. And now every move behind the scenes matters more than ever. On top of that, there's finally some news about those trades that could shape the team's strength next season, and we might even see one of our stars make Canada's Olympic roster. Things can shift overnight, so you want to stay ahead of the curve. If you love the Oilers, hit subscribe to help us reach 1,000 subscribers and show the power of our fan base here in Edmonton. Every Oilers fan knows each NHL season brings its own set of challenges, but we rarely see changes with the potential to impact the team's future as much as these recent league decisions. Behind the scenes, rumors are swirling about moves that could change how teams manage their rosters. It's crucial for any fan to understand this to avoid being blindsided. In recent years, teams have been taking advantage of clever loopholes under the salary cap, especially the long-term injured reserve, or LTIR, to gain financial flexibility. Smart moves like these have often been the difference between a playoff run and falling short. But it looks like those tricks are coming to an end. Under Gary Bettman, the NHL has decided to cut off these shortcuts that let teams skirt the cap. Now, there's a playoff-specific salary cap and limits on retained salary moves and so-called paper transactions. Changes like this can completely shake things up for teams like the Oilers. Here's where it hits home. These new rules directly affect Edmonton and their cup ambitions. Without LTIR loopholes or paper trades, the team will have to get creative to stay competitive and manage the cap smartly. Essentially, the Oilers can't just put a player on LTIR and bring them back before the playoffs, a tactic Vegas, Tampa Bay, and Florida have used successfully. They also can't acquire players who've had salary retained more than once. That cuts down on room for strategic roster additions, and it doesn't stop there. Paper transactions are off the table too. Sending players down temporarily just to save cap space used to be common. Now, the Oilers have to rethink their roster strategy from the ground up. The impact might be bigger for Edmonton than for most teams. The roster already sits close to the cap, and with Connor McDavid's contract update expected this offseason, financial pressure is only going up. Every move has to be precise. The good news is, bringing in young talent on smaller deals for $202,526 could ease some of that pressure. But the last 2 years showed the Oilers relied heavily on those loopholes. And now, with them gone, the chase for the cup just got tougher. So here's the question for fans. How do you think the Oilers will handle it without those financial tricks to build a championship roster? Will management find creative solutions, or will the cup slip away again? If you want to keep up with all things Oilers and never miss NHL updates, share this news on your socials. Leave a comment with your take on these changes and subscribe to the channel. Now's the time to show Edmonton fans stay on top of everything. The backstage quiet is over, but the updates are just starting. In the next few moments, we'll break down how each trade could impact the roster and the team's strength. Don't blink, because the next story could decide if they reach glory. This is worth every second dot. With training camp around the corner, all eyes are on Edmonton, waiting for updates on Connor McDavid. What's really happening behind the scenes? The buzz around McDavid has been hot in the media, and it's natural to wonder if he'll still be wearing number 97. GM Stan Bowman is staying calm, confident a contract extension will happen before McDavid hits unrestricted free agency. Bowman recently told Pierre LeBrun of The Athletic that McDavid has to be treated differently from anyone else. He's the best in the world and deserves to handle things his way, he said, making it clear that respect for the star is a priority. The coach reinforced confidence in the process. McDavid has always been a man of his word, and patience is key. The hardest part is for everyone outside. For us, it's fine. He'll pick the right moment, Bowman explained, showing both maturity and strategy in handling the situation. Meanwhile, McDavid made it clear in Calgary during Canada's Olympic orientation camp that he wants to win the Stanley Cup in Edmonton. That said, no preliminary talks with Bowman about a new contract have happened yet. The Oilers roster has also seen major changes. After back-to-back Western Conference Finals, veterans like Corey Perry, Jeff Skinner, Victor Arvidsson, and Evander Kane have moved on this summer. In their place, young players like Isaac Howard and Matthew Savoie are tasked with proving themselves in the NHL. This puts extra pressure on McDavid, who wants to know the team will remain competitive for years to come. LeBron points out that no one really knows when McDavid will be ready to negotiate. He wants guarantees that Edmonton will stay elite, even if it means starting the 2025-26 season without a renewed contract. That creates an interesting tension. Will we see McDavid's contract news before the regular season opens on October 8th? Against the Flames, fans are definitely anxious for clarity. So, Oilers fans, do you think McDavid will get an extension in time, or will he start the season without a deal? Drop your thoughts in the comments. One of our stars might be heading to the Olympics, and that could shake up next season. And it doesn't stop there. What comes next will reveal how the team handles the situation while still chasing the cup. Stick around, because the next update is essential for any true fan. Have you thought about how much a single year can change a player's NHL trajectory? Take Zach Hyman. Last year, he was almost a lock for Canada at the Four Nations face-off, but the 2024-25 season didn't go as planned. His name vanished from Hockey Canada's final roster, leaving fans stunned now with the 2026 Winter Olympics. In Italy, just months away, Hyman's spot on Team Canada is still uncertain. But, as he's shown before, one strong streak of games can change everything. Canada's Olympic roster is already starting to take shape. In June, 6 players were named to the preliminary list, including Oilers captain Connor McDavid, Hyman, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and Evan Bouchard also got invites to Calgary's orientation camp. The August camp was all office activities, which worked in Hyman's favor. He's still recovering from wrist surgery that ended his postseason in May, but he was there to show commitment. Every game Hyman misses is one less chance to impress Hockey Canada, but playing alongside McDavid gives him a major edge. Sharing the ice with the best player in the world boosts his chances dramatically. By short tournament like the Olympics, chemistry matters. Hyman and McDavid have played together for 4 years, forming one of the NHL's most productive Canadian duos. That familiarity could make the final roster difference. Looking back at last year's prep for the Four Nations face-off, Hyman was basically a lock to line up with McDavid, but early season slumps and injuries wiped out that chance. Now the scene has shifted. Excluding the first 20 games of last season, Hyman averaged 40 goals per 82 games. If he hits that stride again in October and November, his Olympic chances rise considerably. So, Oilers fans, do you think Hyman can bounce back and secure his spot on Canada's team for Milan? Share this news, leave your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe so you don't miss a single detail on the Oilers and the NHL.